Hello everybody, SlimKirby here. Welcome back to more of the Mario Golf Toadstool Tour co-op ring shot videos. Last time we looked at the first half of the 3-player ring shot courses, and today we're going to look at the second half. The first half I think had 13 of the courses, and I think today's video will have the remaining 11, I believe. I'm trying to do the math in my head. Yes, I think it's the remaining 11. So yeah, we'll take a look at the remaining 11 holes and see how difficult they were. So I'm going to go ahead and press play, and we'll get this video started. So first up we have hole number 7, and as you can see, I'm playing as 3 different characters. I'm playing as Petey Piranha, Shadow Mario, and Daisy. And point blank, the reason I am playing as these characters is because the other 3 characters just weren't cutting it for this specific hole. And as a result, I decided it was in my best interest to actually use some different characters, because these characters can actually reach these locations on their first shots. And by extension, I could also do a bit better with you know, how far I could hit these shots as well. So I thought it was just in my best interest to use different characters here. As I said in the last video, when you do use characters, especially characters like Petey Piranha, for example, you definitely risk losing a lot of accuracy and control with your shots. And that can be pretty painful, not gonna lie. That can be a really, really rough aspect of this. But I think it's also, like, at least in this hole's interest, I think it's in your best interest, because it's just so much better when you can get some of these shots on your first try, use one of your shots to recover if you need to, and, you know, you still have that distance with these characters that you can manage, especially if you're good at manual shots. If you're good at manual shots, using these characters is actually not as bad. But with me, when it comes to using manual shots, like, I definitely have... I have good days and I have bad days. Let's just say that's the best way of saying it. I have some good days and I have some bad days. This, wasn't too bad, I guess. I mean, we know that I'm ultimately going to succeed here, but... yeah, just look at how punishing this hole can be. Because keep in mind, like, this is the second shot that we're using to get here. So not only do we have to get this ring on this shot, but we also have to chip from this volcano, this sand volcano, onto the green from here. And, you know, it's not too bad of a chip. Like, we can still use our sand wedge and get there just fine. But still, just the fact that I have to do this is... it's very, very scary. You know, could have had a very bad bounce, could have missed the green entirely, and then I'd be essentially chipping to try and get the par. So it's just something you really have to look forward, or look out for when you're doing, like, ring shot. Like, not just with these characters, but just in general, because they'll really have you aiming for some very weird locations. Thankfully, though, this one wasn't too bad. But, oh man, there is another course coming for this, there's another hole coming for this course in particular. It might be the next one. I honestly don't remember. And, okay, it's not this one. It's the par 5 we have to deal with. For this one's not too bad. It's just a matter of hitting it back here, get the rings, and then hit it towards the hole. A lot of the par 3s have honestly been like this. They've been a lot of holes where it's like, you know, you're probably not going to be getting on the green, but as long as you're good at making accurate chip shots, you should be fine. I think I was a little worried about Petey Piranha's ring, because obviously I didn't get it, but I think he's in a position where he can, at the very least... and I think Petey has, like, really good elevation, too. Like, he hits it pretty high. So he should be able to get that ring. I think Daisy should be able to get this ring, too. Yep, she got it. Okay, good. So yeah, just a matter of chipping it on or chipping it close, and then we should be good. That's a pretty good chip for Shadow Mario. And yeah, see, this is where I was like really nervous, and I was not even sure if I was even going to get this. Because it looks like the arrow's going like right through the border of the ring, and like sometimes that works and other times it doesn't. You just kind of have to get lucky, and thankfully I got lucky that time. And I also just chipped it in, which is also very helpful. It's one less putt I have to worry about. But of course, if I end up getting a bad shot with Daisy there, then I could be in trouble anyway, and you know, that birdie that I made with Petey may not even be relevant. That's why, like what I said at the end of the last video, I wish they had like a, you know, a set par for all 4 characters, not just, you know, each individual character has to make par. I think that would have just made it a lot more manageable, at least in my opinion. But there we go, that takes care of that hole, and we move on to hole 18, and this is the hole that I was talking about. This hole is pretty rough. This is a really difficult hole. There's 9 rings you have to aim for. Some of them are in like collections of 2, and they're just like all over the place here. Like even like these rings right here, like it's almost like they want you to use like 2 fade characters just to get these rings. And honestly, maybe you probably should have done that. I don't know. I still have like 1 fade, 1 draw, 1 straight. But I don't know. Maybe if like for this hole you should have potentially done a maybe you should have done a fade draw or something. But see, you know, this is just for the first shots, and you know, we're already in kind of a weird position with Petey, so we have to make sure that we can get him, you know, out of that trouble spot and still, like, you know, towards the green, so he can, you know, actually still get par. And see, there's also, I believe, yeah, there's still a ring on the bottom part, too. So we have this ring that's, like, also around this star bunker, and if you hit it in that star bunker, then, you know, you might have a very weird third shot to make. This was probably one of the harder 3-player holes for sure. Just a lot of different things you have to kind of keep in mind. Thankfully, Shadow Mario got a good lie right there. As far as Daisy is concerned, I think I tried to do something where it's like I could get this ring, but then I'm like, well, you know what? I don't want to hit that cliff, so maybe Daisy should just hit it up short so she can go over here. And then, since Petey Piranha is in that bunker anyway, I can just use him to get this lower ring that I'm kind of struggling with. And then, since he has high height, he might be able to even get on the green from his next shot. So that's kind of what my thought process was anyway, what I was kind of thinking when I was making my way around here. And of course I also could have just... Oh yeah, okay, I actually went for this ring here too, which... That also works. Like, I managed to... I thought I was going to get this ring with either Daisy or Shadow Mario, but ended up getting it with Petey Piranha, who was still on the bottom level, so... That's why it's also important not to, like, just give up after every shot that doesn't go your way, because you might be able to get another shot with one of your other characters, because again, you have 3 characters to work with. At least in this mode, 4 characters to work with in the final set of courses. So with Shadow Mario, we're going to hit it up here. So he has 2 shots to use. Daisy's going to have 2 shots to use. Now Petey's only going to have 1, so if we can get it close with Petey Piranha, like, this should be more than doable. See, I'm trying to find the best way to organize this. See, that probably wasn't even the best shot I could have used, but 20 yards, or 20 feet rather, isn't too bad. Had to make a farther shot with Daisy. But as you can see, PD's shot is a little more left curvy. Thankfully, we're able to make it. And I just have 2 shots left with Shadow Mario, but I may not even need them because that was a uphill putt right there. Just a straight uphill putt. So now we're going to move on to the Peach's Castle ground course, and here's where the par 3s start to get a little unique. Because as you can see, we have 3 rings that are like surrounding the mushroom. But they're surrounding the mushroom in a way where they're like literally on the edges of the land masses there. So, you know, if you want to get the far back one, you want to make sure that you don't hit it like too far. So you don't like, you know, roll off the island, but at the same time you also have a sand trap that you're dealing with, so you want to make sure you don't stop short with the sand, and then you have to like hit through the ring and then chip it for your final shot. So what I ultimately decided to do here was I decided to hit them like not even on the right island, but hit them so I was actually hitting towards the hole with the ring in my way. And this did actually end up working pretty well. Because like I said, like, when you're chipping towards the hole, especially in this game, like, it's not too bad. Like, you can generally get it pretty close, I find. Because chipping in this game just feels marginally better than it is in other golf games, at least in my personal opinion. But yeah, for holes like this, like, that's stuff you might want to keep in mind. Just thinking that, like, you know, well, I could try to, like, just barely squeak by the ring and get it, like, on the actual hitbox of the in-between. Or I could just hit it a little further and then make sure that my, like, next shot is going through the ring. That's kind of what you have to kind of think about a little bit. You're going, like, towards the ring, not necessarily, like, through the ring. Like, consider using your next shot to go through the ring, not your first shot. That's something that you really have to kind of think about for this hole in particular, anyway. But there we go. That's it for that hole. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. This one wasn't too bad, from what I remember. It's definitely one of those where, you know, they kind of intend for all 3 players to go in different directions. So I'm going to use Shadow Mario to go through here. And actually, you know what? Like, this is a case where you could probably even use one of your characters to get 2 sets of them. Because you have this ring conglomeration right here.
Nice shot.
And it looks like Daisy could also go for the next set of rings, too. I think that's ultimately what I decided. Yeah, I think I ultimately decided to do that, too. I do have, like, a kind of a difficult next shot I'll have to use with Daisy, because she's going to be farther away from the hole, but hey, at least I get these rings, and I can just start aiming for that now.
Nice.
With my other characters, I mean. And see, Daisy will be able to use her sand wedge. Like, she's one of the... I mean, she's the... Actually, I don't remember if either her or Shadow Mario has less distance here. But either way, like, I mean... Daisy's sand wedge can... It's one of the best sand wedges in terms of distance, so... Even her approach wedge would be good enough to just kind of... get a pretty accurate shot right here. side with the pitching wedge. As we pitch it up. Get it kind of close. Still about 15 feet away, but not terrible.
Nice shot.
Ooh. Gonna be kind of a long putt for Shadow Mario, though. I kind of hit it harder with Petey there, too, but thankfully that didn't really matter for him as much. So yeah, for here, kind of curved left a little bit at the beginning. Just did full power and got it in. Not too bad, not too shabby. And then Daisy, once again, just a long shot to the end here, and then just have to tap it in with Petey, and that's another hole done. I think we only have 6 holes remaining. 2 from this course, and then 4 from the Bowser Badlands course. Oh man, they really got brutal in the Bowser Badlands, let me tell you what. But here we have the cliff face hole. Petey Piranha is the first one to go. And see, I don't think this one took me too many tries. I think this was just a case where it's just like, I'm just going to just go ham on this one. See what I can do. If I can get all the rings on my first shot, that's great. Or not even first shot, on my second shot, and then just work my way up as efficiently as I can. That's really all you can do, honestly.
Nice shot. Nice.
Of course, that one had to land in the bunker, though. But see, once again, remember the distance of these characters, so I'm just gonna pitch it up here to a fairway, and then hopefully my third shot can be good. And see, I was kind of thinking the same with Shadow Mario, too. Like, it would have been nice to get those rings, but I knew that Petey was going to be heading towards those rings anyway. So I just decided to use Petey for that. And just focus on my other characters. And trying to get them up to the hole. And thankfully, Daisy had a really nice shot right there. And if I just get a good one with Shadow Mario, then just have to worry about Petey getting up there, and that should be fine, because I think Petey's like right in front of it. Right in front of those rings. So he shouldn't miss those. Yeah, I got a little worried right here, but it looked like the pitching wedge was still going through there. But just in case, I did club up once, just to assure that I would get in there. Sometimes it's not too bad to do that, just to make sure that you're getting what you're aiming for. Unfortunately, I did hit that a bit too hard, but thankfully with Petey, I had a shot to burn, so I'm just going to chip it up there. Get it in the hole again. Petey's been a chip-in master for me so far, I have to admit. He's been doing pretty good, not gonna lie. So that's gonna do it for that hole, pretty much. I'm trying to think of what the last hole was. I honestly kind of don't really remember. We've done the par 3. I think we have the par 5? No, this is the par 4. Okay, I do kind of remember this one now. This one is kind of tricky because, keep in mind, I'm using Petey Piranha, so I have, like, the largest distance character here. But still, like, just the fact that, like, I wasn't able to get any of the rings with him. Because you're hitting it, like, not just, like, in this valley, but you're also hitting it kind of downhill, too. And it's really hard to get multiple rings in one shot. So as a result, you can really only get one at a time, and if you do manage to get two, like, you have to kind of do it in a way where it's like you almost have to hit the top of the tower, the hill here, and then just kind of hit it down after that. See, like right there, I actually missed with Daisy. So I think what I ended up doing here was actually, like, yeah, hitting it just straight forward, and then hitting it backwards. And see, by hitting it backwards, you're kind of hitting it uphill, So as a result, it's not as hard to actually hit it through the rings here. So I think that was kind of my strat, was just to crank it with everybody, and then just have one character that has to be accurate. And I think Daisy was the most accurate of these characters, so it made the most sense to do this with her. I do have a 180-yard shot here, with wind being ridiculously annoying. But I just kind of shortchanged my power a little bit and got a really nice bounce. I have a fringe shot to make, unfortunately, but at the very least, I'm close. I have a chance anyway. It's better to have a chance than no chance, and as a result, I thought it was worth continuing. Definitely not the best shot I could have gotten there, but hey, at least I'll have an idea of how this hole breaks a little bit, since Petey's kind of over there too. I suppose that's another strat you could use. You could kind of use like another character to... a character that, you know, has more shots to burn. They can kind of test the waters with like the amount of power you need, but thankfully I didn't need that. Daisy was able to get it in, and I could just rest easy with my last two characters. And that will do it for the castle grounds, which means... oh, it's time for the Badlands. The Bowser Badlands. And let me tell you, the Bowser Badlands are brutal on... they're pretty much brutal on all the co-op ring courses, if I'm being honest. There's just a lot going on here, and this one in particular, this is a course that took me at least an hour to figure out. There's just a lot of rings everywhere. The rings are in very inconvenient locations that could, you know, essentially push you out of range of making a good next shot, so you have to kind of use one of your shots for recovery. And it's never fun doing that, because, you know, it's essentially wasting a shot, and you don't want to do that. And I think for a while I was just, you know, I was attempting this hole, and, you know, those rings in the middle of the course, like, I kept aiming for those first, and then I just realized that it's just like, you know, going for those rings first isn't helping me, because whenever I don't, like, get bounced out of bounds from hitting the wall, I'm just in a very awkward position on my next shot anyway, so maybe I should actually approach these from my second shots, get in a better position, and then potentially I could actually use my next shot to just power straight to the green, and ultimately that strategy ended up working better than just aiming for that hole straight away. And like, I was tired of restarting this course on just my first set of shots every single time. I wanted to get some practice with it, just trying to get to the green afterwards. So that's why I kind of left those rings here for later. Because, like, if you aim straight at that wall with, like, a driver, like I said, you're probably bouncing right off the thing anyway. So I thought that was the best way to handle this. So that way I just have to hit it up there with Daisy for my next shot. And see, at least this way, I'm like on... I'm at least on the landmass that has the hole with two of my characters, and I felt at least confident enough that Daisy could get up there too. Daisy's definitely the character I'm worried about the most, because if the shot doesn't work out, and it could have done that after I hit that rock, you know, once I got in a good position with her, I at least knew that I had, like, enough shots with my other characters to, you know, give me some buffer, I guess. Some breathing room. Some buffering breathing room. So yeah, even though I hit a rock with Daisy, I at least landed, like, within sight of the pin, which is good. I have two putts I can use with Petey and Shadow Mario, so just gotta get this shot close with Daisy, and then I'm good.
Nice shot. Birdie putt.
See, even then, Daisy's still got some distance to make. But, see, that's the good thing. I'm glad I actually had that shot with Petey, because that gave me an idea of what Daisy's putt was going to be like, since Daisy was also right there. She wasn't as far as Petey Piranha was, but she at least knows, like, you know, the power that I need to be putting on this versus the, you know, the actual distance that it said, and that gave me some indication of how hard I needed to hit that. So that allowed me to finish that up. All I had to do was just tap this in with Petey, and then we can move on to the next hole. And my, oh my, what a hole this next one is. Well, it's the par 3 with booze, and if you can tell, the rings are in really, really, really ridiculous places in the sense that more than like 90% of the rings area is directly above the water, so you like need to almost kind of hit these rings on the edge. And as you can see, I did go back to Yoshi, Birdo, and Diddy Kong, because the accuracy of those other 3 characters just wasn't doing it for me for this hole. And I just kind of thought, okay, I need to go back to these characters now. And I'm glad I did, because having that accuracy really helped on this one, because you need to, like, quite literally, for at least a good follow-up shot, you need to be hitting these rings, like, right on the edge, and then being at least on the green, or within good chipping range to get close to the hole. But this is a hole that didn't really bother me too much with restarting, because it is just a par 3. At some point you'll get it. You can kind of memorize the power differentials for each of your characters. Just make sure you don't go back to the hole select and then pick the course again that way, because if you do that you'll get like a different wind direction. That's actually something you can do if like you get bad wind for a hole. If you just like go back to the hole select and then enter the course again that way, your wind will be different, so you can get something that's probably a little better for what might actually help you out. Whether it's less crazy wind, or maybe wind that's kind of blowing more towards where you need it to. Especially if it's like blowing it forward, but I don't know, for accuracy, probably less wind the better, if I'm being honest. That's probably a better way to look at it. Because you definitely want to have more accurate shots in this mode, I think. This hole was actually not too bad. This was a nice breather after the last 2. Although the last hole wasn't too bad either. It's just after the first hole, like, it's good that like not all of these are painful. It was just like that first one. I actually don't remember what the last one is either, so we'll have to see what that one is too, but I don't think it was too bad. Although I could be dead wrong. You know that it's not the par 5 because we just did the par 5. That was the first one we did.
Nice shot.
See, unfortunately, I did not get that ring with any of my characters. But that's okay. I think Yoshi should be able to get this. See, I kind of made a decision here because, unfortunately, like, due to the low-hanging ceiling here, I'm probably going to hit that. But so I decided to actually, it's like, well, maybe I can get 2 rings in once. Maybe that'll actually end up being a better strategy for Yoshi here. So I decided to aim for that instead. And I'm honestly glad I did. Just be careful because there are thwomps in range. Although the thwomps can't do too much to you, they will push your ball further into the ground, which will make your next shot less accurate, and there'll be a greater degree of like the terrain screwing you up. So just keep that in mind. So all the rings have been gotten, so Diddy Kong can just hit it straight towards the hole here. Though honestly, I probably didn't need to aim this aggressively. I could have just like chipped it short and then used the third shot to get a more accurate shot, but
Nice shot.
what can I say? I wanted to get results from my favorite Monkey Man. And see, like, I mean, he's still pretty close. This was probably the one shot I was worried about, although I don't remember where Birdo is either.
Nice shot.
Birdo could be in a tight spot too. That was a nice landing for Yoshi, so Yoshi doesn't have too much further to go. Yeah, Birdo's not too bad. She's in a pretty good position.
Nice shot.
Gets a nice super accurate shot as well. Might hit the... Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, very nicely done. So yeah, that should be a pretty good finish with all the characters, because it looks pretty straight up
Nice
there
shot.
on the tip of that green. Doesn't seem to be like any sort of break or uphill or downhill part of that at all. So we did it. We are going to take victory in this. And we are going to move on to the last hole. The last hole of the 3-player ring shot courses. Which means next time we can focus on the 4-player ones. Oh my god. Yeah, those videos are going to be very long. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now. Keep in mind, we're adding like one more golfer to every single hole we'll be doing.
Nice shot.
But here we go. We have this hole. There's a lot of... Well, actually, there's only 5 rings, I think. But as you can see, they are everywhere. And eventually this just got to the point where like I was just trying different things with each character. Eventually I found a path that I was like, okay, this could actually work. So I hit Yoshi over there. Like, I got the first ring that was on the left side of that first platform. I used Birdo to get to the second one.
Nice shot.
Even though she didn't go through the ring, she'll get it on her second shot, so that's not too big of an issue. I hit Diddy Kong right there. I used Birdo to hit through this ring and to approach this ring. And what I'm going to end up doing is I am going to be using a little bit of... Actually, if there's any backspin.
Nice shot.
But I had a lofty enough club that I can at least hit it close to this ring. So I'm going to hit that next ring, and then also hit it towards the hole on my next shot. Yoshi hits it over here to this ring that's by the chain shop. And this is another case where you do want to be a little careful because, like, for one, you don't want to hit it in the chain shop area, but you also don't want to hit it past the ring and then out of bounds. Then Diddy, he's going to aim for this last ring. And then he's going to hit it towards the hole. Even if he doesn't get it, he'll at least be close for a chip-in or a chip-and-putt. Whatever he needs to do. Birdo's going to hit through this ring and hit towards the green, and then Yoshi will do the same where he is too. Honestly, I probably made this hole seem like it was harder than it actually was, but this was just another case where, like, once you knew the right path, like, it wasn't really too hard to figure out the best thing to do, I think. So really, Birdo's the one character that's going to have a rough shot here, because I think she needs to actually hold this from where she is. But thankfully, chipping is easy in this game. So that wasn't too bad. Then we just tap in with the other 2 characters, and we have finished 3-player ring shots. But that's just the 3-player courses. We have the 2-player courses and the 3-player courses done. Now we have the 4-player. But like I said, I feel like the 4-player courses are not as difficult as the 3-player ones are. I think it's like a case where because you're using more characters, you do have some extra buffer room to work with if you like miss a ring or something. And more than that, I feel like they just kind of wanted to ease up on the players a little bit too, because you don't want to have the margin of error being too big. But that doesn't mean that there aren't still some tricky holes here and there, so you guys will have to stick with me and wait and see what the rest of this course is like. This has been SlimKirby. This has been the 3-player ring shot courses. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time when we start working on the 4-player courses. Until then, take it easy, and I'll see you guys later. Later, folks.